All right, this is my ID. Here's my note cards. And my audience members are Marin, Alexandra, Jose, and Sean. It was May 3rd, 2008, and 8 Bells, a 3-year-old thoroughbred racehorse, was running in the Kentucky Derby and finished second. Just moments after finishing, she collapses with 2 front broken ankles. And for those of you who don't know, broken ankles are a death sentence for horses. This is according to 2008 article, runner-up 8 Bells breaks front ankles euthanized on track by renowned reporter Associated Press. Now, I'm going to talk to you guys about why the horse racing industry is in need of significant reform. Now, to some of you, you guys may not think it matters to you, but if you have dogs, cats, or even cows, who is going to be there for them whenever they need a voice? Because these horses don't have anyone to stand up for them. And we need to be those people, because whenever it's your turn to have someone, you're going to want someone to be there for them. I've been working with horses for 15 years, and I decided to take that knowledge to college with me. And we have looked into the racing industry and have been taught how to properly care for those horses and do it the right ways. The horse racing industry needs reform in the areas of starting horses too young, using whips and drugs on the animals, and masking injuries with painkillers and topical gels. Now, the first area that we are going to look at is starting horses too young. And with this, horses, whenever buyers in the horse racing industry buy horses, they want to start them as young as they can so they can get them racing and start making money. Now, the U.S. Committee on Commerce, Science, and Transportation's 2013 hearing, these elected officials noted that horses are burned out on racing very quickly because of the international and accelerated growth of yearlings, the premature training and racing of these very young horses, some of which are not even 2-year-olds when they first race. 2-year-olds' bodies are not fully developed, which then causes them to have situations like what happened to 8 Bells. And because we're allowing these horses to race this young, it's causing these tragic situations like what happens. Now, the next area that I'm going to talk about is using whips and drugs on horses. Now, this is my first visual aid. It's called a crop. And this is what jockeys use. And they take it and just whack the horses. And these goes inches into the horse's skin, not centimeters, but inches whenever they're running to make them go faster. And then the other area that is needing reform is using drugs on these horses. And on August 10th, 2001, the chairman of the board of trustees of the Thoroughbred Owners and Breeders Association, Gary Bizantz, notes in Run Baby Run that horses can need some assistance, and we should be able to do things that are humane for them and help them. But on race days, in his judgment, horses should run completely clean and free of medication. Now, it's okay to give them medication that is legal and can help them, but people are taking advantage of this to give them medication that can further advance their horses to make them run faster and win races. And because of this, it's masking injuries and forcing horses to push past their physical ability and causing them to have breakdowns and further causing them to have to be euthanized and further ending their life. Now, the last area that I'm going to note out of a great big area that needs reform is masking injuries with painkillers and topical gels. And my next visual aid is what is called horse liniment, which is basically the equivalent of icy hot for horses. And this is on hand for probably every horse owner. And you just put it on the skin. But horse owners, whenever they sense that a horse is going to be lame or hurt, instead of going to their vet, they will pop some pills to their horses or put this on to try and make that horse go through another few days just to make it to that next race so they don't have to withdraw their horse. And in the 2014 book, Equine Pharmacology by DMV's Burtz, Cole, and Maxwell, they note that after at least one study was investigated, using these creams for control of inflammation did not prove to be successful in providing the desired result. So even though these people try to put this gel on their horses to prevent having to withdraw them from the race and to fix the problem, all it's doing is masking an injury to where they are okay to race, and the horses then go out to race with an injury that looks to be okay, but then they go out and race, and the horses then are pushed past their max potential and then are not okay and sometimes end up having to be euthanized. Now, some people look at me and say, Hannah, the horse racing industry has been around for hundreds of years and it has never been a problem. And I look at them and say, I'm not asking for the horse racing industry to be completely done away with. All I'm asking is for reform. I'm asking for people to stand up and be advocates for these horses. And I'm asking for more regulations to be put out there so that these horses have someone to be their advocate and be their voice because they can't be their own voice. Now, if you were your own horse and you didn't have a voice, wouldn't you want someone to be there for you? The horse racing industry needs reform in the areas of starting horses too young, using whips and drugs on the animals, and masking injuries with painkillers and tropical gels. I know that if my animal was out there, I would want someone to be there and be their voice, and that's what I plan to do. Thank you.